Looking closely at these new hints, guys, I see a dangerous, deadlocked chessboard where every single character is playing with fire. You might think Jason is simply furious because Britt kept the truth about Cassius hidden. On the surface, it looks like a classic case of shattered trust. But if you ask me, we are looking at a highly calculated move by a woman who knows exactly how lethal her enemies truly are. Britt is not just keeping a secret, she is holding the line in a terrifying stalemate. The psychological motive here is not self-preservation, but ultimate sacrifice. She is deliberately letting Jason believe the absolute worst about her to keep him out of the crosshairs. If she tells the truth too soon, the entire operation collapses, and the real masterminds vanish into the shadows forever. It looks like Britt has been secretly collaborating with Anna for weeks behind everyone's back. This implies that Anna, despite reclaiming her badge, is running a deeply covert, off-the-books operation. Anna knows the underworld better than anyone, and she recognizes that Cassius is merely a symptom of a much larger disease. By recruiting Britt as her inside woman, Anna is utilizing the one person who has the family ties and the sheer nerve to infiltrate this syndicate. Britt is silently carrying the weight of this massive mission, enduring the disdain of the man she loves, all for the greater good. This is a monumental shift for her character, proving she has evolved far beyond her selfish past. She is operating with an ulterior motive that is entirely rooted in heroism and sacrifice. But the plot thickens considerably when we look at the financial backing of this shadowy organization. It looks like Ross is nothing more than a disposable pawn on this board. The true puppet master, the one secretly funding this massive identity manipulation project involving Cassius, is allegedly a mysterious figure sitting right on the board of Aurora. This brings Drew directly into the line of fire. I suspect that Drew, while digging through corporate records or perhaps investigating recent financial anomalies, will stumble upon a highly classified dossier. This file will not just expose corporate corruption. It will contain a terrifying hit list of individuals currently under heavy surveillance by this dangerous organization. When Drew opens that file, the names he finds will undoubtedly send a chill down his spine. The list reportedly includes Jason, Carly, Jocelyn, and Britt herself. This crucial piece of evidence proves that Britt has known all along that she was a primary target. Her decision to push Jason away was not born out of guilt or a lack of love, but out of a desperate need to protect him. By maintaining a cold distance, she ensured that Jason would not be dragged into the lethal orbit of this Aurora board member. She absorbed his anger and accepted the shattered trust because she knew it was the only way to keep him, Carly, and Jocelyn safe from an unforeseen fallout. Imagine the sheer emotional weight of the inevitable confrontation between Jason and Britt. Jason, feeling utterly betrayed by the woman he trusted, will demand answers. He will push her, looking for any sign of remorse or explanation regarding Cassius. But Britt, bound by her secret allegiance to Anna and her desperate need to protect him, will remain stoically silent. She will look him in the eye and refuse to defend herself. For Jason, this silence will be the final nail in the coffin. He will walk away, fully believing that their relationship is over and that Britt chose her family's dark legacy over him. The tragedy of this moment is palpable, as we, the audience, know the agonizing sacrifice she is making in that very room. However, the writers are not going to let this tragic misunderstanding linger for long. The climax of this storyline is set to explode right outside the doors of General Hospital. Later that exact same night, Britt will be ambushed. Picture the scene. The quiet, dimly lit parking lot, the sudden screech of tires, and a group of unidentified mercenaries violently grabbing Britt. Jason, perhaps lingering nearby or returning to confront her one last time, will hear the commotion. He will sprint toward the scene, his protective instincts kicking into overdrive, but he will be just seconds too late. He will be forced to watch helplessly as the van speeds off into the darkness, taking Britt into the clutches of a truly terrifying enemy. It is in the immediate, frantic aftermath of this kidnapping that the truth will finally come to light. Anna will arrive on the scene, realizing that their cover is completely blown and Britt's life is in imminent danger. She will have no choice but to drop the absolute bombshell on Jason. Anna will reveal the entire covert operation, explaining that Britt never betrayed him for a single second. She will lay out the facts. Britt was the only undercover operative who could get close to the organization backing Cassius, and she sacrificed her own happiness to shield Jason from the crossfire. The realization that Britt accepted his hatred to save his life will hit Jason like a freight train. completely shifting his perspective and igniting a fierce determination within him. This brings us to a massive fork in the road regarding where this storyline goes next, ladies. Let us break this down into two distinct possibilities. Scenario A focuses on a hostile corporate takeover intertwined with brutal underworld violence. Could it be that the mysterious figure on the Aurora board is using the identity manipulation project as a weapon of corporate espionage? If you ask me, this board member might be trying to systematically replace or manipulate key figures in Port Charles to seize total control of the city's legitimate and illegitimate enterprises. In Scenario A, Britt's kidnapping is a direct result of her getting too close to uncovering the board member's true identity. The organization realizes she is working with Anna and decides to eliminate the threat immediately. Jason, now armed with the truth, will have to navigate a complex labyrinth of corporate deceit and mob violence. He will not just be fighting armed thugs. He will be going up against a billionaire with endless resources and a pristine public image. This implies that Jason will have to use his brain just as much as his brawn. He might have to team up with Drew to expose the financial corruption at Aurora, while simultaneously tracking down the mercenaries holding Britt hostage. The unforeseen fallout of this scenario could mean the complete restructuring of Aurora and a permanent change in how business is done in the city. On the other hand, we must consider Scenario B, which leans heavily into international espionage and the lingering ghosts of the WSB. What if the Aurora board member is actually a deep cover operative for a rogue faction of the WSB or the DVX? It looks like Anna's involvement is the biggest clue here. Anna does not usually run off-the-books operations for local corporate embezzlement. She gets involved when global security is at severe risk. Could it be that the technology Cassius was protecting is tied to this rogue faction's ultimate goal of global manipulation? In Scenario B, Britt is not just a hostage. She is a vital asset to their sinister plans. Perhaps she memorized a piece of the code or possesses the unique medical knowledge required to finalize the organization's project. Jason's rescue mission would then take him far beyond the city limits, plunging him back into the dangerous world of international spies, a world he just tried to escape for the sake of his son. This scenario paints a picture of a desperate race against time, where Jason and Anna must dismantle a global syndicate before Britt is silenced forever. The psychological motive for Jason here is pure redemption. He failed to see the truth when she was standing right in front of him, and he will burn the world down to make it right. Let us take a moment to deeply analyze Jason's mindset in both of these scenarios. For months, he has been trying to distance himself from the violence, wanting to be a better, safer father, but this revelation about Britt forces him to confront his true nature. He is a protector at his core. When he realizes that Britt took on the role of the protector to save him, it challenges his entire worldview. It flips the dynamic of their relationship completely upside down. He is no longer the knight in shining armor. She is the silent guardian. This realization will fuel a relentless, cold-blooded pursuit. We are going to see a highly calculated move from Jason, utilizing every single skill he learned in the mob and during his captivity to hunt down the people who took her. Meanwhile, Britt's psychological resilience will be put to the ultimate test in captivity. She is no longer the fragile woman terrified of a medical diagnosis. She is a hardened operative who has outsmarted some of the most dangerous men in the world alongside Anna. Even in chains, I suspect Britt will be playing intense mind games with her captors, looking for weaknesses and buying precious time. She knows Jason better than anyone. She knows that once he learns the truth, he will not stop until he finds her. Her survival will depend entirely on her ability to maintain that calculated, stoic facade while secretly feeding clues to the outside world. Let us also consider the massive ripple effect this hit list will have on Carly and Jocelyn. When Drew inevitably shares this classified dossier with Carly, her reaction will be explosive. Carly has always been fiercely protective of her family, and knowing that she and Jocelyn were actively being hunted by a boardroom executive will send her on a terrifying warpath. This could forge an unexpected and highly volatile alliance between Carly, Drew, and Anna. Carly will not just sit back and let Jason handle the danger alone. She will want to dismantle the Aurora threat from the inside out. This means we might see a multi-front war, Jason executing a tactical rescue mission in the shadows, while Carly and Drew launch a ruthless corporate assault in the boardroom. The sheer scale of this storyline is massive, intertwining the hospital, the mob, the corporate elite, and international spies into one cohesive, explosive narrative. Ultimately, this summer is shaping up to be a spectacular ride of deception, sacrifice, and high-stakes action. But we have to ask ourselves, even if Jason manages to tear through this mysterious organization and rescue Britt, can they ever truly go back to normal? The trauma of this covert operation, the shattered trust that had to occur to make it work, and the looming shadow of the Aurora conspiracy might leave deep scars that cannot easily be healed. If you ask me, this desperate rescue mission might save her life, but the unforeseen fallout could change the trajectory of their relationship forever. Will they emerge stronger, or will the darkness they are fighting finally consume them? We will just have to keep watching to find out.